When you're dating a guy, you want to make sure that you're falling in love with somebody who has the right intentions behind his attention. In this video, I'm going to give you 9 obvious signs that he is either a player or that he has bad intentions. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Renee Slansky. I'm a professional dating, relationship and life coach. And I help women and men around the world find and build the relationship that they desire and deserve. Now let's talk about knowing whether or not the guy that you're actually dating has the right sort of intentions for where your relationship is heading. Because the number one thing you need to actually remember is attention doesn't always equal good intentions. And the last thing that you want to do is start to force somebody who actually right from the start only wants to play you. So let's jump into those 9 signs right now. The first one is this: all he talks about is sex. Now we know that men seem to have a higher sex drive than women, or supposedly so. Scientifically, not always the case, but the thing is, if a guy only talks about sex when he starts to date you or right from the first couple of conversations, then chances are that's all he really wants. And I have actually done another video on this, so make sure you check that out as well. Now, guys talking about sex won't always be completely obvious. He won't say, hey, let's have sex. Sometimes they do though. He might start to joke about it, and most of the time whatever men joke about usually is an indication of what they are actually thinking and wanting. Or he might have overly suggestive comments or always seem to allude towards anything sort of sexual. This again is usually an indication that his only intention is basically to get you in the bedroom. Number 2, he checks out other women in front of you. Now this is obviously something that is completely disrespectful. I'm not saying that a guy can't look at other women that are in the same vicinity as you. Let's be human. We need to understand that if a gorgeous woman walks past, heck, I even look at a gorgeous woman that walks past, and so does my husband. This is about realizing that if he openly does it and then makes a big deal about it and doesn't try to hide it, then it's not really showing that he is honoring the woman in front of him, which is you. You don't want to start committing emotionally to a man who can't openly respect you in front of other people publicly, let alone in private. Number 3, he puts you down. Now, this might be because he is insecure about himself, or maybe he wants to control you, or maybe he has even a narcissistic personality. Good people don't go around tearing other people out, especially if you are just starting to date this guy. Most of the time, people are on their best behavior, so they're building you up, they're giving you compliments, they're trying to encourage you. If he is someone who is constantly criticizing you and putting you down, then I can tell you right now that this guy has no intention of being able to bring value to your life. Number 4, he moves way too fast. I think when we start dating a guy, we get focused on the commitment that we want from him. So we want things to actually progress. But the truth is, if he moves way too fast and wants to, move in with you after only knowing you a week, or expects a certain amount of commitment level when he doesn't actually really know him and you don't really know him, then that could be an indication that he only has one agenda behind it. Now, whether that agenda is he wants to control you, or he only wants to have sex with you, or maybe that agenda is that he actually wants you to rescue him, and so he's kind of grabbing onto you and trying to secure him to feel more secure about himself. Either way, it's not healthy, and I have actually done another video on this about signs that your relationship is moving too fast, so I recommend checking that out as well. Which brings me to point number 5. A sign that he has bad intention, or that he is a player, is basically he's trying to control you. When a man tries to control you, especially early on in a relationship, it only is an indication of kind of what's sort of to come later on down the track. We shouldn't ignore these red flags early on just because we like a guy, or maybe just because he has a couple of other good points. Someone trying to manipulate you or control you by not allowing you to hang out with your friends, or maybe telling you what it is that you should be doing or not doing when you've only known him for a couple of weeks, is a sign that this guy could possibly lead to things such as emotional abuse, verbal abuse, or even worse later on down the track. Controlling somebody in a relationship isn't healthy, and it should be something that you should actually take as a really bad intention. Number 6, he gets you to pay for every single date and he never seems to put in the effort. Now, before all the men start jumping on the comments saying women should pay for dates, I agree. Women should pay for some of those dates. I believe that when a man and woman are courting each other, I think that the old school chivalrous sort of way is for the guy to at least pay for the first date. And from then onwards, the woman and the man should be contributing equally because relationships are about equal effort. Now, if a guy is only wanting you to pay for every single date, like he's literally kind of just taking this as a free ride and he's not putting in any effort, okay, it's different if maybe he's lost his job and he can't really afford things. But you need to understand that if a guy can't afford to pay for something, it shouldn't necessarily even be about how much money somebody's spending. It's more about the thought and action behind why he is getting you to pay every single time. Is it because he only wants a free ride? Is it because he is lazy? Is it because he doesn't actually want to put in sort of any effort and actually show his appreciation and value towards you? Or is it simply because he is someone that is sort of struggling? You know, look behind the intention, okay? That's going to always be your best indication of whether or not this guy is currently just struggling or whether or not he actually does have the wrong intentions. The thought behind the actions is what matters most. And if a guy can't pay for the first date, okay, fair enough. But if he can't pay for any other date and doesn't want to and pretends that he will and then makes the bill fall on you, then to be honest, ladies, I think this is a guy that doesn't know anything about how to actually show respect towards you, and it is something that you should take as, well, let's say bad intentions. Number 7, everything is about what is convenient for him. Now, I have worked with clients in the past and they've told me how they've met a guy and it started off the first 1 or 2 dates pretty good where you met halfway, then all of a sudden it changed and it was always about meeting him on his side and meeting him his time frame because he's always busy and basically rearranging your whole life to kind of just suit whatever it is that he wants. If a guy isn't willing to put in equal effort in the beginning of a relationship, then chances are he's not going to be putting equal effort in the latter part of a relationship. So be aware of these signs now. Don't wait till 6 months down the track of you constantly giving to someone and doing whatever it is that they want on their terms before you finally say something. A man who really is interested in a woman and wants to, show her that and communicate that is a man who will go out of his way to actually put in some effort. He will meet her halfway. He will come to her side. He will not only make it about what is going on in his world and his schedule, but he will actually make room to fit her in his schedule and to communicate that he wants to be a part of her schedule as well. Number 8, he makes you do things that either compromise your standards or make you feel really uncomfortable. Now, somebody that has an ulterior motive because they're either a player and they kind of just want to have the attention, they want to have sex, or maybe they're narcissistic, or maybe there's somebody who just is completely broken, so they don't know therefore what good intentions look like, is somebody who usually puts you out of your comfort zone in a negative way. I think we can date people and they can put us out of our comfort zone, but in a positive way, such as challenging us and encouraging us to grow as a person. But if somebody is forcing you to do something or pressuring you to do something that really goes against what you know to be right and what actually feels right, then that is a massive red flag and a massive indication that they don't have the right intentions. And lastly, number 9, he always seems to have excuses. Okay, fair enough. People aren't perfect, and we need to remember that we are humans dating humans. But if a guy is always coming up with excuses of why he can't do something, why he can't see you, why he's always busy, every time you try to book something in advance, he can't commit to it, and basically you feel that you're always trying to convince him to do things with you, or whenever you keep him accountable to something, he has a reason that just doesn't seem to fit, then basically this guy probably is doing something completely different outside of what he's doing with you. He could be dating other women. I've done a video on that. Or he could be basically not wanting to stay accountable because he doesn't actually have the right intentions in the first place. Ladies, this is why it is so important to take your time to actually get to know somebody over time in different scenarios instead of just always focusing on the commitment. Now, of course, I teach you how to get a guy to commit, but you will notice in any of my videos and in any of my teachings, I don't just teach you how to get a guy to commit, I tell you why it's important to get the right man to commit, and to not only just focus on the commitment, but who it is that you're actually committing to. More importantly, because you can be in a marriage and be totally miserable, or you can be single and totally happy. The choice is yours. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and send this to anyone that you might think they need to really look at this because they're dating somebody who is a player or who has bad intentions. And if there is a specific video that you want me to do, then simply pop it down in the comments below and I read all of them and I will do it for you next time. Until then, have an amazing day. Know that you are worthy of a beautiful love and I will see you again. Bye for now.